It's Wednesday, January 10. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Cabinet is expected to have further discussions on the developments regarding the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The issue of 42 people being murdered in the first 10 days of the new year was discussed in the weekly cabinet meeting. The embarrassing traffic debacle last week on the Palisadoes Highway, which disrupted operations at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston, was also discussed. Sources say Police Commissioner George Coelho yesterday told National Security Minister Robert Montague that he stands by the two reports he submitted. Those reports have not recommended any member of the High Command being held accountable for the embarrassment which the Palisadoes incident has caused Jamaica. It's understood that Montague told the police commissioner that it's the policy of the government that accountability in the constabulary should not be limited to rank and file police personnel. Reacting to recent statements from the Police Officers Association, the POA, which accused Minister Montague of interfering in the operations of the constabulary, the police commissioner says the Officers Association acted independently. The wage negotiation between Jamaica Teachers Association and the government is on the to-do list as a three-day retreat starts for Cabinet today. The situation seems to be improving with news that favorable consideration is being given to its proposed fringe benefit package for the teachers. President Georgia War Richards, who made the disclosure, said Prime Minister Andrew Holness contacted her yesterday before 5 p.m. and related to her that Cabinet had looked favorably on the fringe benefit package. She, however, noted that the Prime Minister had asked for more time for a response to the proposed percentage increase in the basic wages. The public sector group had rejected the government's 6% wage offer over 2 years and accused the government of using delaying tactics after meetings held with representatives from the Finance Ministry concluded with no increase to the initial offer. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Jamaica is officially not under threat from a tsunami. The Prime Minister provided the update in a post on Twitter. Jamaica had been monitoring the situation after early Tuesday night. A magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck in the Caribbean Sea between the coast of Honduras and the Cayman Islands, shaking the mainland and causing officials to warn people around the region to be alert to the threat of possible tsunami surges. There were no early reports of serious damage on land. Officials in Honduras said shaking was felt much of the Central American nation, and there were some reports of cracks in homes in Colón and Atlantida provinces along the northern coast of Lancho in eastern Honduras. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said sea levels could rise from a foot to 3 feet above normal. 5 communities are to receive micro-zonation maps. This is to provide information on earthquake hazards and assist in the development of building codes. Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, Major Clive Davis, says the project will last 2 years. Major Davis says Jamaica is located in a highly active seismic zone with about 200 earthquakes recorded every year. As such, he says mitigation efforts are critical.
The Oddpemmers continued over a number of years to take steps to mitigate against, to prepare the nation for the possible impacts of major earthquakes.
He was speaking at Monday's press launch of Earthquake Awareness Week, being held under the theme, Preparing for the Quake Will Reduce Damage After the Shake. The week's planned activities includes volunteer training for media, awareness sessions for business and schools. The National Water Commission (NWC) has restored some of its supply systems which have been affected by persistent rains since last week. NWC Corporate Public Relations Manager Charles Buchanan says numerous systems encountered challenges, especially in St. Mary and Portland. Mr. Buchanan says in St. Mary, 20 systems were severely impacted on Monday, while 9 systems in Portland were disrupted. A few supply systems in St. Catherine were also affected. The NWC said affected customers should brace for a possible extended period without water as the rains continue. A special courtroom at the Supreme Court has been assigned for the hearing of matters related to sexual offences. Chief Justice Zayla McCalla made the announcement at Monday's opening of the Hillary term of the Home Circuit Court. The Chief Justice said the decision was made to designate the special courtroom after figures were presented by the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP. The DPP indicated a significant increase in sexual offence matters. Of the 939 cases set for trial this term, 419 are for sexual offences. Town hall meetings are in the works for correctional service officers, so says National Security State Minister Pernell Charles Jr.
We want to wrap with you, we want to have a discussion with you so that we can hear directly from our probation officers, from our correctional officers, from our auxiliary workers, and so we can get your recommendations and start implementing.
Minister Charles was speaking at a morning prayers and praise at the Fort Augusta Correctional Center on Monday. He said the meetings will keep officers abreast of operational changes.
We also have a number of activities that we hope will build a better framework for the DCS, identifying rehabilitation officers specifically, and setting up the kind of transformation of our organizational structure so that it helps us to have better management and accountability.
Commuters will experience traffic changes for the next 2 weeks. Stephen Shaw, Communication Manager at the National Works Agency, NWA, says the changes will facilitate road and sewer improvement works in Barbican. Traffic heading along Barbican Road from the Ligony Avenue intersection will be diverted to Salisbury Avenue, then Paddington Terrace to exit on East Kings House Road. Motorists traveling towards Russell Heights or want to access Jacks Hill Road can use Loop Road to get back onto Barbican Road. In regional news, the fourth president of the Trinidad and Tobago, Professor George Maxwell Richards, is dead. Richards, who was 86 years of age, died on Monday following a heart attack. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, in offering a condolence, said Trinidad and Tobago has lost a much-loved son of the soil. The Prime Minister said Richards, who served in the highest office of the land from 2003 to 2013, carried out his duties with class and distinction, quote, even as he remained grounded in his love for all things Trinidad and Tobago, especially carnival and soca music, end quote. He said the late leader distinguished himself as a true patriot throughout his career, first as a chemical engineer with Shell, then as a staffer, and eventually principal of the Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies. The Prime Minister said flags on public buildings will be flown at half-mast in accordance with the directive of the Minister of National Security. In sports, Jamaica's Reggae Boys could be heading into their friendly international against South Korea later this month without a coach. This as Theodore Tapper Whitmore and his assistant Jerome Waite are yet to sign the new contracts presented to them by the Jamaica Football Federation. Waite happened to see his on Tuesday but left the JFF without signing what we understand was a $150,000 per month contract. As for Whitmore's salary, it's reported that it is 3 times less than what he was getting back in 2010. Our sources told us that Whitmore would not sign the undervalued contract either. We also understand that goalkeeper coach Warren Barrett is also yet to sign. The Reggae Boys will play South Korea in Turkey on January 30. And that's the news. Do stay with us. The weather report is next. This is PBCJ's weather report. Thanks so much for staying with us. Let's start as usual with our local currents. Today, we can expect an average temperature between 27 and 29 degrees Celsius across the island. And you should also expect scattered showers across most parishes. Let's take a look at our forecast over there in Kingston. Right now, we're seeing an average temperature between 24 and 27 degrees Celsius, and we're also seeing a forecast of possible showers for Kingston this afternoon. The temperature is set to go down at 6:23 p.m. this evening, and we're also seeing some cloudy skies forecast for the evening in Kingston. Over there in Montego Bay, St. James, the western end of the island, we're looking at an average temperature between 21 and 27 degrees Celsius. So it's still going to be pretty warm out, even though we're seeing a forecast of scattered showers for that parish. We're also seeing that the temperature is set to go down to a cool 12 degrees Celsius in certain areas in St. James this evening. And you should also expect a forecast of some scattered showers in that parish. Tomorrow, we can expect an average temperature between 27 and 29 degrees Celsius. We can also expect scattered showers across most parishes tomorrow as well. And in our forecast across the Caribbean region, we're looking at an average temperature between 25 and 28 degrees Celsius. We're also seeing a forecast of rainfall in the eastern end of the Caribbean, and we're seeing a forecast of possible showers over there in Bahamas as well. It should be pretty sunny over there in Mexico. And in our travel planner, we look to the United States, where we're seeing a minimum temperature minus 2 degrees for New York, with a high at 2 degrees in some areas. We're seeing a high temperature at 27 degrees for the areas you're looking at when we look at Miami. We should also expect some scattered showers in certain areas in Miami as well, but it should be pretty sunny skies for Los Angeles. And we're also taking a look at the earthquake activities occurring in the region. Jamaica has been monitoring the situation after early Tuesday night a magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck the Caribbean Sea between the coast of Honduras and the Cayman Islands, shaking the mainland and causing officials to warn people around the region to be alert to the threat of possible tsunami surges. It should be noted that the Prime Minister Andrew Holness said that Jamaica is officially not under threat from a tsunami. Now, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center did say that sea levels could rise from a foot to 3 feet above normal. And we're looking at the earthquakes that have occurred recently across the region. You're seeing those little dots on your screen. And that's it for the weather report. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.